Good morning, students. Today we will study about the permanent tissues. In our previous class, we had already studied about the meristematic tissues, and so we are going to continue it, the permanent tissues. Now, first we will study about the structure of permanent tissues. Now, the permanent tissues, they were also made up of cells, but here the cells have definite form and size. Okay, their cells have the fixed form and size, but the cells may be living or dead. They can be living or dead, and the cell wall is thick. The cell wall is thick. And just opposite to the meristematic tissues, the permanent tissues are made up of those cells which are incapable of division. Means that after the maturity, the permanent tissue cells are not going to divide again and again. Okay. Now, on the basis of their function, the permanent tissues are of two types: simple or supporting tissues and complex or conducting tissues. Now, we will study about them one by one. So, the next one is the simple or supporting permanent tissues. They are made up of one type of cell. As in the previous, when I was explaining about the chart, if you remember that, then I had told you about the simple and complex tissues. And at that time I told you that simple tissues are made up of same type of cell. Only one type of cell is making the group, and that form a tissue. So simple or supporting permanent tissues, they are made up of one type of cell. Now, the function of these simple tissues are that they provide strength and support to the plants. Strength and support to the plants. Now, again, these simple tissues were divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now, this parenchyma. Now, as you can see that one diagram is attached with this slide. Now here, as you can see that the cells are oval or polygonal in shape. They can be oval, they can be round, and they can be polygonal in shape. The characteristic feature of parenchyma is that these cells are living cells. So the tissue, the parenchymatous tissues were made up of living cell. Okay, and the cell wall of the cell is thin. As you can see that the cell wall of these cells are thin, and they have the small nucleus. Here you can see this small nucleus, and the very large vacuole is present in them. Vacuole is large in shape. Large vacuole, a small nucleus, and the cytoplasm is dense. Okay, so thin cell wall, a small nucleus, and that large vacuole, and the cytoplasm is dense. The cytoplasm is dense. And you can see that in between cell here, the space is there. Okay. This space is known as the intercellular space. So in this parenchymatous cells, tissues in between the cell, the intercellular space is present. Now, where they are present in plant. So, on the basis of that location, so they are present in the soft parts of the plant. They are present almost everywhere on the plant because the plants are soft by nature. So, especially in the soft parts of the plant, the parenchyma is present. What is the function of the parenchyma? So, they give the support to the plant. They give support to the plant, and the work is packing material. Now, what is that packing material? Now, children, when you are putting anything which is fragile in a box, like anything which is made up of glass, etc., then what you are doing? You are putting some extra papers around them or to support them, like the things you are putting in them. So that is known as the packing material. So here this parenchyma is also works as the packing material for the plant. And the third function is that it stores food, water and waste product. So it stores the food like in potato tubers, it stores the food, that is starch is stored in this parenchyma cells, and waste product. So the plants are also producing the waste products. Actually, they are in the form of the gums or the raisins. All right, gums or the raisin. In that form, they are producing their waste products. So they are stored in the parenchyma tissues. The next one is collenchyma. So if you will see the picture of this, diagram of this, then you can see that the cell wall here, the cell wall is thickened at the corners. The cell wall is thickened at the corners here. You can see that cell wall is thickened at the corners only. Okay. Here also the cell is living. It is polygonal, as you can see the shape of that, and cell wall is thick at the corner, and you can find it out that there is no intercellular space. All right, all the cells were attached to each other, so there is no intercellular space in between them, and the vacuole is present. The vacuole is present. Okay, now here, what is the location? So they are present at the flexible part of the plant, like the leaf stalk, like the base of the leaf which is attached to the stem. In that stalk it is present. The midrib of the leaves, if you remember in class 6 we have studied the structure of the leaf. So there the midrib, because they are flexible, so in that place the collenchyma is present. What is the function of that? So it gives the support to the plant because it is a kind of supporting tissue. So of course it is giving the support to the plant. Then because it is flexible by nature, it is present in flexible part. So that is why it helps the plant to bend. To bend, like when the wind is blowing or when you are pushing the plant. So again it comes back, or it bend and then again comes back to its original position. So bending helps the plant to survive, and this bending is caused due to the collenchyma. Okay, now few collenchyma cells, they may contain chlorophyll in them. Few collenchyma cells can contain chlorophyll in them, and of course because chlorophyll helps in photosynthesis, so these special collenchyma cell which we are known as the chlorenchyma, which we known as the chlorenchyma, so which they help in photosynthesis. Now the next type of cell is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, here the special characteristic feature, the cells are dead. In parenchyma, in collenchyma, the cells are living, while in sclerenchyma, the cells are dead. Okay. Now here you can see that all around the cell wall is thick. If you remember, in collenchyma, the cell wall is thick at the corners only. Like here, in collenchyma, the cell wall is thick at the corners only. While here, in sclerenchyma, you can see that the cell wall is thick all around. Alright, and this is due to the deposition of lignin. Lignin is a substance. Due to the deposition of the lignin in the cell wall is very thick. And that is why the lumen is this space. Okay, this empty space which becomes very small because the cell wall is thick around. So that is why the lumen is very reduced. And as you can see that the cells are tightly packed here and there is no intercellular space in between them. So this is the structure of sclerenchyma. Location, they are present in the parts of the plant. Most of the parts of the plant they are present, and especially in the hard coverings like the seed. The covering of the seed is hard. The nuts covering is hard. There also the sclerenchyma is present. And because it is hard due to the deposition of the lignin, so that is why they provide the mechanical strength and rigidity to the plant. The plant is rigid. It is not going to change the shape if the force is applied. So that is why they are rigid in shape, and this is due to the sclerenchyma cells. Now the another kind of tissues are the complex or conducting tissues. Now these are also known as the vascular tissues. Vascular tissues. As I had already told you, the difference between the simple and complex tissue, the simple tissue is made up of single type of cell, while here they are made up of more than one type of cell. What is the function of them? They conduct the water, the minerals and the food materials in the plant. And they are of two types, xylem and phloem. Now here you can see this. This is vascular bundle. Okay, vascular bundle which helps in the conduction of the material in the plants like water, mineral and food. Okay, so this is a vascular bundle, and you can see the position of phloem on the on the outer side of the vascular bundle and the xylem at the inner side of the vascular bundle. Okay. Now, first xylem. Xylem is made up of thick-walled dead cells. They are made up of dead cells. Okay. And they are present in the inner side of the vascular bundle. What is the function of that? It transports water and mineral from roots to the other parts of the plant. From roots to the other part. It means that it helps in the upward movement of the material. It helps in the upward movement of the material. On the other hand, phloem, they are made up of thin-walled living cells. So difference you can see, xylem made up of thick-walled dead cells and phloem made up of thin-walled living cell. Okay. The another difference, it is present at outer side of the vascular bundle. Okay. And it transports food from leaves. Because the leaves are making food, so now the made up food is going to be transferred from leaves to the other parts of the plant. Now other parts means that it carrying it to the upward direction also and towards the root also, because the roots also need food, so obviously the food is also going to the downward direction. So the phloem is taking the material to upward and downward both the directions. All right. This is the end of the chapter of tissues. Now, what you will have to do in your copy. Okay. Now, I had already discussed about the types of tissues, the structure. Okay. Now, in your biology copy, you will have to draw the structure of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay. And label it. You can find out the diagram from my slides also and from your book also. In the book, if the label is not given, please do it with the help of my slides. Okay. Now you will have to draw these three diagrams. Now what you will have to write? Now you will have to write down that page number 7, one table has given types of simple permanent tissue. Okay. Table 1.3, feature, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. You will have to write down this table. There is no need to write down the separate structure location function as I had given you the slides. Okay. You will have to write down in this form which is given in your book, in the form of the difference with the features. Okay. This you will have to do. And for the complex tissues, no need to make the diagram of the xylem and phloem. Only you will have to learn them. Got it? Only you will have to learn them. This much you will have to do in your copy. Then write down the difference between the meristematic tissues and the permanent tissues, which is given at page number 5 in your copy. Okay, this much you will have to do in your copy, and in our next session we will resume with the exercises and the question answers of this chapter. Till then, please stay safe at your home. Thank you.